There is a $6 routine that keeps skin smooth and wrinkle-free for years. Not a serum, not a cream with a French name and a $200 price tag. 3 ordinary things you can buy at any pharmacy in America tonight, and the order you use them in matters more than anything you have ever been sold at a beauty counter. A woman I met in Tucson is 71 years old. She has been doing this exact routine since she was 34. People guess she's in her early 50s. They argue with her when she tells them her age. And the entire anti-aging industry, a machine worth over $60 billion a year, has spent 4 decades making absolutely sure you would reach for the $90 jar instead of the $6 one, because the $6 one works. And a woman who fixes her skin for $6 is a woman who never walks back into that store. Most women think wrinkles are something that just happens to you, a countdown you can't stop, something you fight with creams and lose to anyway. That is exactly what they need you to believe. So I spent 3 weeks reading dermatology literature, and what I found is something the industry has known since the 1980s and quietly buried under marketing. And yes, this works even if you are already 60, even if the lines are already there, even if you think it's too late. It is not too late. Let me show you why. Here is the number that changes everything. Up to 90% of visible facial aging, the lines, the sagging, the rough texture, the spots, is not from getting older. It is from the sun. That number comes from decades of dermatology research, and the American Academy of Dermatology has stated it plainly for years. 90%. That means the wrinkles you blame on time, on genetics, on just my age, almost all of them were written into your skin by ultraviolet light, one unprotected afternoon at a time, and there is a photograph that proves it better than any study ever could. In 2012, the New England Journal of Medicine published an image of a 69-year-old truck driver. For 28 years, he drove with his left side toward the window. The right side of his face, the side away from the glass, looked like a man in his 50s, smooth, even. The left side, the side the sun reached through the window every working day for nearly 3 decades, was a roadmap of deep wrinkles, thickened skin, and sagging. Same man, same age, same genes, same diet. The only difference was light. One side of his face aged naturally. The other side aged from radiation. That single photograph tells you the entire truth the industry spends billions to complicate. Aging is mostly damage, and damage is mostly preventable. Now think about what that means for the products in your bathroom. The $120 age-defying night cream is not protecting you from the one thing that does 90% of the damage. It can't. You wear it to bed. The damage happens at 2 o'clock in the afternoon in a parking lot. The most expensive anti-aging product in the world is useless against the actual cause of aging, and the cheapest one, a sunscreen that costs a few dollars, is the most powerful anti-wrinkle treatment ever discovered. They will never frame it that way. There's no luxury markup on prevention. You can't sell hope to a woman who isn't afraid yet. Here's the second thing they don't tell you, and it goes back thousands of years. Your skin loses water all day long, constantly, invisibly. Dermatologists call it transepidermal water loss, moisture evaporating straight up out of your skin into the air. When skin is hydrated and the surface is sealed, it looks plump, fine lines soften, the face looks rested. When skin loses that water faster than it can hold it, every line deepens. The texture goes crepey, and the face reads as older than it is. After 40, your skin produces fewer of the natural oils that used to seal that moisture in. The barrier weakens. The water escapes faster. This is not a complaint. This is biology, and it is the exact gap a $6 jar fills perfectly. The ancient Egyptians understood this 5,000 years ago. They sealed their skin with animal fats and plant oils, not as decoration, as protection against a brutal desert sun and bone-dry air. Cleopatra's famous regimen was, at its core, an occlusive layer over a hydrated surface. The Romans did the same. So did desert peoples across the Middle East and North Africa, independently, for thousands of years, because they all noticed the same thing. Skin sealed against the air stays soft, and skin left bare to the air goes leathery. They didn't have a journal of cosmetic science. They had eyes and 200 years of grandmothers paying attention. The knowledge was never lost. It was buried, Under 100 years of marketing that taught you a seal had to come in a designer jar to be worth using. And your own grandmother knew the modern version of it, petroleum jelly, the plain jar that has sat in medicine cabinets since 1872. Women of her generation put a thin layer on their faces at night and woke up soft. Dermatologists today have a fashionable name for it. They call it slugging and write trend pieces about it like it's new. It is not new. It is the single most studied, most proven occlusive in all of skincare. Petrolatum reduces water loss through the skin by over 98%, more than any luxury moisturizer ever formulated. That is a published, repeated, uncontroversial fact. A $6 tub does what a $90 cream pretends to do, and does it better, because the $90 cream is mostly water, fragrance, and a story. So here is the routine. 3 steps, $6, and the order is the whole secret. Step 1 is the humectant, a thin layer of something that pulls water into the skin. A basic glycerin lotion does this. So does a few dollars of plain hyaluronic acid, the same molecule the $80 serums are built around, sold generically for almost nothing. You apply this to slightly damp skin right after washing, while the surface still holds water. This is the moisture you are about to trap. Most people skip this and go straight to a cream, and they wonder why nothing holds. Step 2 is the seal. A thin layer, and I mean thin, a fingertip is enough for the whole face, of petroleum jelly over that humectant at night before bed. This is the lid on the jar. The humectant pulls water in, the petrolatum locks it there, and your skin spends 8 uninterrupted hours hydrated, repairing, plumping. You wake up and the fine lines around your eyes and mouth are visibly softer. Not gone, softer. Every single morning, and over years, that daily difference is the difference between a 50-year-old face and a 65-year-old one. This is the part the counter will never tell you, because the entire night cream category exists to sell you the lid for 15 times the price. Step 3 happens in the morning, and it is the most important of the 3. Sunscreen. Every day. Not beach days. Every day. Including the cloudy ones, including the ones you spend indoors near a window, because UVA passes straight through glass. Remember the truck driver. A broad-spectrum SPF 30 costs a few dollars and stops the single force responsible for 90% of the lines you're trying to prevent. If you do only one thing from this entire video, do this one. It is measurably the most effective anti-aging product that has ever existed, and it has never once been the thing they push hardest at the counter, because prevention doesn't photograph well and fear sells better than calm. That's it. A few dollars of humectant, a jar of petroleum jelly, a bottle of sunscreen. $6 covers the active part of it, and that jar of petrolatum will last you the better part of a year. Compare that to what's under most bathroom sinks right now. The serum, the eye cream, the night cream, the barrier repair complex, the retinol with the gold cap. $400 of products trying and mostly failing to do what these 3 do together for the price of a sandwich. Now, before I tell you about the woman in Tucson and the one detail of her routine that made me rethink everything, if you want the full version of this, the complete order, the exact products at every price point, the morning version and the night version laid out step by step, I've put all of it in one place. It's called the Skin Armor Protocol, and the link is in the description. But stay right here, because what she does on top of these 3 steps is the part nobody's talking about, and it costs nothing at all. Here is the honesty, because you won't get it from anyone selling you a jar. I am not a dermatologist. I cannot tell you how your specific skin will react, and a few people do react to occlusives. If your skin is acne prone, heavy petrolatum over the whole face can trap oil and cause breakouts, so you'd keep the seal to the dry zones and the lines, not the full face. If you have a skin condition, talk to an actual dermatologist before changing anything. And petrolatum traps everything underneath it, which is exactly why the order matters. You seal in clean, hydrated skin, never product heavy or unwashed skin. Used correctly, this trio is gentler and safer than most of the active loaded serums that replaced it. Used carelessly, anything can go wrong. I'd rather tell you that than pretend there's no nuance, because the people selling you the $90 jar will never mention the nuance either. They just won't mention the $6 jar at all. The woman in Tucson, I'll tell you how I found her. She wrote a comment on one of my videos that I almost scrolled past. She said she was 71 and hadn't bought a wrinkle product since the Reagan administration. I messaged her. We talked for an hour. She grew up in the high desert, brutal sun, dry air, the kind of climate that ages skin faster than almost anywhere in the country. Her mother, she said, had skin like paper by 50. So at 34, terrified of the same fate, she made a decision. Every morning of her life since, before she walks out the door, she puts on sunscreen. Not sometimes, every morning, through 4 decades. And every night she does the humectant and the seal, the same 2-step her own grandmother did with glycerin and Vaseline on a ranch with no running water. But here's the detail that made me stop. I asked her what her secret active ingredient was. She laughed at me. She said the secret isn't an ingredient. The secret is that she never stopped. For 37 years, she has done the same 3 cheap things every single day, while the women around her chased a new miracle cream every season and ended up, in her words, with more product and more wrinkles than me. Consistency is the active ingredient. The industry can sell you a new bottle. It cannot sell you 37 years of doing the boring thing on the day you don't feel like it. That is the one thing they can never put in a jar, and it is the only thing that has ever actually worked. She sent me a photo. I'm not exaggerating when I tell you I checked her age twice. Smooth forehead, soft, even skin. The kind of face that looks like it was simply protected because it was from the sun, from water loss, from 40 years of being talked into the wrong product by someone in a white coat at a counter. So here is your full routine, one more time so you have it. Morning, sunscreen, every day, no exceptions. The most powerful anti-aging step there is. Night, a thin layer of a humectant on damp skin, then a thin seal of petroleum jelly over it. 3 steps, $6, decades of difference. Start tonight in the bathroom you already have with products you can buy on the way home. You did not fail at skincare. You were not vain or foolish for spending money trying to take care of yourself. That instinct was right. You were just handed an incomplete picture on purpose by an industry that makes more money selling you the lid than selling you the truth. Now you have the rest of it. I want you to do one thing for me in the comments. Tell me your age and tell me the most expensive anti-aging product you've ever bought and whether it actually worked. I read every comment and I want to build a real record across every age and every skin type, so the next woman who finds this video sees results from real people instead of an ad. And if this reached you, if you're the kind of person who's tired of being managed by industries that profit from what you don't know, subscribe to the Beauty Armor, not for me. Subscribe because there's a growing group of people taking back the knowledge that was always cheap, always simple, and always quietly moved to the bottom shelf so you'd stop looking for it. And in next video, I'm showing you the 5-minute technique that lifts a sagging jawline and tightens loose skin around the neck without a single needle, a single filler, or a single dollar. A method women in their 70s have used for generations to stay sharp and lifted, and the exact reason the cosmetic surgery and injectables industry, worth billions a year, would rather you never learn it. They sell you the lift. This gives it to you for free. You're going to want to hear that one.